guys, hello Melo here. So this is the third video on my channel and this one looks way better. I know that I say this every single new video that I post, but this one definitely looks better because I was filming like in front of my window, so like the lighting is like amazing. But by the second half of the video, I'm gonna be changing my setup because my table and my first slide just arrived, so it's gonna look way better. So if you think that this is amazing, I think you're gonna die basically by the second half of this video. But yeah, just kidding. I don't want to like make you guys expectations that high, but yeah, it's a better setup, it's a bigger table, and yeah. So thank you for clicking in this video. And first story of the day, week, video, I don't know, first story. Okay, the title of this one is Hickey on my husband's neck after he came from a party. Hi, I just want to share that my husband went to his office party last night. He was in some fancy place and I saw this hickey on his neck in the morning. When I asked him, he was making excuses that it must be due to shaving and blah blah blah. He has a history of cheating, and this is very obvious that he was with someone last night. He went 5 p.m. right after work and came home 11 p.m. when he said initially that the party is up to 9 p.m. He was making excuses that he was waiting for the shuttle, blah blah blah. I took pictures of it. Anyone can tell that it's a hickey. It's so clear. I am a mom of two. I have a 4-year-old and a 3-month-old. 3-month-old, not a year-old. That was me reading it wrong. And I gave birth by C-section with so many complications during pregnancy. I am a staying-at-home mom. I don't have a job or any other place to live, and I take care of the kids all the time. Can anyone advise me on what should I do? Well, this is a very hard situation. First, getting married to someone who already has a history of cheating. Second, being cheated on by the person. I feel like, isn't there like a study that says that like people who had cheated before are like more prone or have like bigger chances of cheating again, and being in a situation where you technically depend financially, you are depending. So whoa, I really, because if I tell you, oh, he cheated or you leave him, then what? How are you gonna support yourself or the kids, Yeah, and staying is also not a good option. This is that type of story that is just to learn. It's just to learn from someone's mistake and try to avoid being in this type of situation in the future. I don't have any type of advice. I'm too young. So yeah, second story. This has a very weird title. So I'm gonna read the title. I'm gonna judge without reading the story. Then I'm gonna start reading the story. Am I the a-hole for wanting to stop paying rent for my ex? He 25M and she 25F. And why would you be paying rent for someone that old? Am I the a-hole for wanting to stop paying rent for my ex? Hi Reddit, I 25M broke up with my ex 25F after 2 years and I'm moving within a month. We agreed I'd help her with the rent for 2 extra months. The lease requires 3 months after terminating the contract, but I'm not on the list. Legally, I'm not obligated to pay, but I've been helping her out in good faith in an attempt to keep things peaceful and respectful. Now, things are starting to feel out of hand. 1, she's made some unfair financial demands. For example, she got $500+ worth of furniture, and I had to fight hard to get my fair share. 2, while living together, she also made me pay extra $50 a month, tied to me being better at handling my finances. Also, she's a student. She still demands me to pay this. She is demanding 80% of the value of some dining furniture, originally from my parents. Oh my god, just because she put cloth on the chairs. This feels completely unfair to me. She's not appreciating the rent I've been paying and is being really petty about everything. It's starting to feel like my generosity is being taken advantage of. I asked for the lease or contract, but she didn't want me to have it because she's the sole partner tied to it. Up until now, I've been staying calm, trying to de-escalate, and compromising a lot, but she's been difficult. And it feels like she's not attempting to make this quiet and respectful. I respect her. She was a good partner, but I'm questioning if I should stop paying rent now. She will be extremely mad. I feel like I have already done more than enough, but I also don't want to give up on being the bigger person by being the pitiful one regarding this matter. What do you think? Should I confront her or should I suck it up for these 3 months? I feel like being the bigger person also includes you respecting yourself. You sucking it up doesn't mean that you are being mature. It just means that I think like the contrary actually. So if you feel like you're spending more money than you should have or you should in this situation, just don't you guys. Oh my god, what would you put yourself in this situation? I'd rather someone talk bad about me but I still have the money in my account rather than be in a situation where I'm trying to help the person and the person is acting ungrateful and making me spend more. So, you are the a-hole just because you are accepting this behavior from someone that is not even with you anymore. So, in my opinion, yes, you are the a-hole. Oh my god. Am I the asshole for sharing generalized information about my financial situation? There is someone I've been close with for decades. We live in different countries, but talk by phone several times a year, and share lots of very personal information, including all sorts of details. This friend and I have very different financial situations. She and her family struggle and have struggled for a long time. My family and I are affluent. Both are nothing new. During our recent conversation, I shared with her that I might quit my job because of a toxic work environment and that I'd be okay financially if I did. Now she's angry with me and says her feelings are hurt because I said my financial outlook was okay even though I might quit my job. Her take was that I was not being considerate of her financial situation by sharing my information. I was being insensitive. Should I have said nothing? I thought he was a friend that I could speak freely about my life. But maybe I should not have said anything about possibly quitting my job. Maybe she's just jealous. Because if you have to hear about her financial situation, her struggles, and how she's trying to overcome her problems, she should be able to do the same for you. But when it's your turn, you are being insensitive. She's just jealous that you have the privilege of quitting your job just because it's toxic. Many people do not have that privilege. So she's just jealous. That's just it. Am I the a-hole for insisting that guests in my house take off their shoes? I, 28F, am British, but ethnically Korean, and I was brought up always to take your shoes off indoors. It's a big part of Korean culture not to wear shoes indoors. I know not everyone does that in their own homes, but in my home I don't wear shoes and I don't want others wearing shoes either. So I politely ask guests to take their shoes off. Recently, I had hosted a dinner party for about 8 friends. Nobody had a problem except one, who said her shoes were part of her outfit and she didn't want to take them off. I told her, I'm sorry, but I insist, and she got angry. She refused and ended up storming off. Nothing about the asshole. I just think this person should be able to respect others, not only cultures, but houses and house rules. It's not such a big deal, especially in a situation that technically is cleaner, right? Because you walk in the street, you don't know what you're stepping on, and then you bring your dirty shoes inside someone's house. So I think it's more it's cleaner to just take off your shoes at the door and walk, especially if your floors are clean. So I think she just wanted to get mad at someone and she found a good opportunity. with you. Next story. Am I the a-hole for moving my phone away from a store employee? This happens to me a few times a month, but I'll go to a store and I'll ask about a product or order. And they'll ask me a question about the order, and I'll take my phone out and they will try and take my phone from me or just to scroll on the screen without my permission. They could ask me to look for something or scroll down, but instead they try to use my phone. I hate this because if they drop it, they definitely won't pay for it. And also, I still mess during to problems with my immune system, and I don't want their dirty hands on my phone. Today, a customer service person at Target refused to help me because he reached over to touch my phone and I pulled it away, and he got so angry. Am I the a-hole for moving my phone away from him? No, I think technically it's not very respectful to take something from someone without their permission. So I don't agree with the people. But sometimes people are not trying to be evil. Maybe they just don't see things like the same way you do. So maybe to you it's like something very disrespectful. But for them it's not such a big deal because we're just so different and we normally don't think so much alike. So I feel like in this type of situation it's better if you just like, instead of just pulling away or something, just explain to the person that you do not feel comfortable with them touching your phone in a respectful manner. And if they talk bad to you, now we know that the problem is the person. So yeah, that's my advice for this. This is turning into an advice. I keep saying advice. My goal is not to like give advice. It's just to read stories. I'm just giving my opinion because I'm very talkative. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad I don't want to watch heated rivalry with him? So she's 20 years old. My dad, 52M, has always had a short temper. I got into the show Heated Rivalry lately, and me and my mom were discussing dance party themed around the show I'm going tomorrow. My dad jumped into the conversation and asked if we should watch it as a family without knowing what the show is about. Because this is a funny situation, me and my mom laughed and said no, we shouldn't. He got really mad and started grumbling about how he's never included in things. My mom tried to explain further by saying that she does not want to watch as scenes with her child, but apparently the damage was already done and he felt made fun of. I feel like he was overreacting, but he's still being grumbly. So I'm second guessing myself. I think he just wanted to be included. Maybe you should just find another show. Like maybe find another show that you are gonna feel comfortable watching with him. I think he just wanted to be included. Just wanted to be a part of you guys' thing. So yeah. Am I the a-hole for stealing an apartment my roommate suddenly wanted? Me, 23F, and my boyfriend, 24M, live with another couple. For basically the entire time we've lived together, they've said that they were moving out of state once our lease is over. Recently, our washer and dryer stopped working, so the apartment complex gave us access to a vacant one-bedroom unit to do laundry. After using it a couple of times, my boyfriend and I started talking about maybe asking management if we could rent it when it becomes available. We mentioned this to our roommates, and that's when things got weird. They suddenly said they're not moving anymore and that they also want that same apartment. This was the first time they'd ever said anything like that. Now they're acting like we're trying to go behind their backs or take something from them. But from our side, we only ever considered it because we were told for months that they were leaving. Am I the a-hole for still wanting to ask about the apartment? I think you should take the apartment. Because first, basically you are acting, taking in consideration what was told to you. So they were telling you that they wanted to move, etc., etc. But when they decided to change their minds, they didn't tell you. So they didn't communicate properly. So of course things are not going to go their way because they are not communicating properly. So the apartment is vacant. It doesn't belong to them. So anyone who like gets there first can have the apartment. Don't get why they are being such a-holes about it. I think they're the ones who are the a-holes. Because that's anyone's apartment. That can be anyone's apartment. Even if they didn't want to move, they never told you guys that they wanted to move and yada yada. That can be anyone's apartment. Am I the a-hole for not yet telling my friend they smell so bad? So basically, I have a longtime friend who I used to be housemates with, along with some other friends of ours. We all moved away from our hometown together just over 3 years ago. Over the 3 years, we've noticed one of my friends, I call them shrimp, isn't as savvy with washing their clothes as we are. And their clothes would sometimes really smell bad when they were close to us. This came and went as we lived together, as we would help them with washing clothes and propping showers, etc. About a year and a half ago, me and some friends moved out of the house shared to live alone or with partners. Since this time, shrimp smells has gotten worse and worse. They now smell so bad we can't sit close to them. It's like a distinctive smell, like when you sit close to a homeless person on the bus. Me and my other friend Ellie, let's call them Ellie, have been discussing how we can approach this matter for a long time now, and neither of us know what to say. We have tried giving tutorials on how to use the washing machines. We have tried giving washing resources to them. They tend to just put them to the side and forget we said anything. What do? This is our best friend and we want to help them out. We know they've been struggling for a long time. They aren't accepted by their parents for their gender or sexuality. I don't have a great support system. They don't have a great support system. They don't enjoy living in the house share now because some strangers have moved into our old rooms. Hell, well, if it's someone that close to you, I think it should be easier actually to tell the person that they're not smelling good. I think you owe to the person. I think that's part of being loyal to a friend, telling them when they're doing something wrong or whatever. So I think you should tell them, because at the end of the day, is that the same thing that I said in the beginning of the video. We all think differently. So you may be like explaining to me how to shower, how to wash my clothes, and I might just be seeing that as like a friend giving me advice on something that I didn't ask, not as a friend is giving me a hint that I smell bad, So it's better to just come directly and confront, I guess, help your friend. And if they get mad, it's not your fault. They're the ones who are smelling bad and you just try to help. You shouldn't feel bad if like they end up getting mad at you. So yeah, I think it's enough for today. I think we have a very big quantity of, I think there's like around maybe 8 or 9 stories, so I feel like this is enough. Or if maybe it's not, you can always tell me to like add more stories or like make bigger videos or whatever. I'm willing to serve. Lol. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week, maybe next 4 days, because I don't have a very specific schedule. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, I always forget to mention this, like my socials are in the description. Yeah, thank you.